Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome once again, Chapter 1, Verse 2. It is The Art of Change. I am your host, Mr. Wiliam Lavell, and as always, my co-pilot, Mr. J.C. Dykes Jr. Hello, Mr. Dykes. How are you this evening?
How are you tonight, Mr. Lavell?
I am doing quite well, thank you very much. I'm doing a lot better than I was last week. Once again, what was that?
I cannot wait to hear what verse 2 is.
Verse 2?
Verse 2.
Bo's tune?
Verse 2.
Buttered toast. I can't understand you.
Verse 2.
Verse 2. Oh, yes.
Verse 2.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry.
Updated phones, and my phone's not wanting to cooperate.
Well, hopefully we'll be doing an upgrade here on The Art of Change, and we'll be able to have a better sound setup. So hopefully a lot of these audio issues will be cleared up by the time we join you next week. But to begin verse 2, this is the beginning of a new era, a new dawn, if you will. And I have to take people back to the very start of things, sort of like a prequel, if you will. Before the world knew of one Mr. Wiliam Lavell, I was an obscure, independent professional wrestling journalist. I latched on to, of course, West Virginia Pro Wrestling because that is where I refereed. But I kept who I was rather quiet. And then when WVCW formed, I just rolled over into there. Now, while in WVCW, I was able to actually once again reunite with somebody that I held in very high regards. Somebody that I felt was more than deserving of adulation. Somebody that I looked up to, that I had great respect and great admiration for, but he could have done so much better. And all he needed to do, all this man needed to do, was change. So I made the suggestion to him, and he needed to change his ways. He needed to become the person he was and quit being the person that he had become. Now, over the course of time, that me and him had some back and forth, and I'm sure there's pretty much love lost from the man, but I still hold the man in high regard. I still hold the man with so much respect and almost like an idol, if you will. But once again, he is a man that is in dire need of change. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this week is one Mr. David Lynch. Mr. Lynch, how are you this evening?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you here, sir. Even if it is the first time.
I appreciate the comments. I really do.
Now, Mr. Lynch, I'm not going to lie, having this conversation with you over the phone, having this conversation with you live on a public forum, I want everybody to know the reasons why I hold you in such high regard. And by the time it's all said and done, I'm hoping that the words that I have for you may not happen tonight, it may not happen next week, it may not happen for a month, but I hope the words that I have for you really stick to you and make you understand why I have done what I have done. Not only the words I spoke to you, but why I have done what I have done within WBCW.
I'm willing to listen.
Now, well, I appreciate that. I really do. Now, once again, I want to spotlight you, Mr. Lynch. There's a lot of you, even though that we've known each other since the day I actually stepped foot into a wrestling ring as a referee.
Yes.
There's a lot about you that I don't know, and I'm sure there's a lot about you that the people listening may not know as well. For instance, tell me, when did you get your start in professional wrestling?
Oh, let's see. It was almost 25 years ago. I was going to Marshall University. I was majoring in broadcast communication, minoring in English. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm just getting a lot of interference on the line. I was.
I'm getting it as well.
Huh? Pardon?
I'm getting the same type of interference as well. I'm not sure if what it is, but please continue.
It's probably my speaker phone. While I'm driving.
Well, then quit hanging it out the window. I know you, JC. I know how you are, Mr. Dykes. Yeah, I'm not hanging it out the window, trying to flash people in the cars, hoping that they'll, maybe swerve for your entertainment.
I only drive
no problem
one night a week. I only drive naked one night a week.
Really don't.
Have you ever driven naked, Mr. Lynch?
Oh, yes, but that's a long story, and it has absolutely nothing to do with wrestling.
Ah.
Okay, anyway, I was in Marshall University, and I was in English class, and after an English class, a fella came up to me and said, would you be, I had long hair, I was, looked pretty much the same as I do, except I had hair. And he asked me if I would be interested, and I said, yes, of course, because it's something I'd wanted to do all my life. And he introduced me to a man named Bob Boyer, or Bob Borders. He was the original masked medic. He used to wrestle against Buddy Rogers and Bobo Brazil and Faz and people like that. He broke... Are you there?
I am here.
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay, that was a big beep. He broke me into the business, and I worked with him for the better part of a year, and then my grandmother became ill, and I left college, and after she passed away, I hooked up with George South and the Italian Stallion, and they're the ones that really polished me, and I've been at it pretty much since.
What was it about professional wrestling that drew you to the sport?
Honestly, it's the one thing that I can remember doing with my grandfather before he passed away. He passed away when I was 3 or 4 years old, and I can vividly remember sitting on the floor at his feet watching wrestling with him. and how excited he would get, and it just I'd always been drawn to it ever since then. I've watched it my entire life, and the first chance I got, I jumped in with both feet.
Any memories of what perhaps the matches were?
Oh, no, I was more fascinated by my grandfather's reaction to what was going on, because he'd wiggle up to the front edge of his seat, and he'd be trying real hard not to curse because the baby was sitting at his feet, and I vividly remember he would draw the curtains and turn all the lights off, and he wore round glasses, and I see his face and the reflection of what was on the television in his glasses, and his favorite was Haystack Calhoun. He loved Haystack Calhoun. I do remember that.
Actually, to be honest with you, I've always heard of Haystack. I've watched his shows on YouTube, but as a youngster, I missed his time on television. Growing up on, of course, being born in Canada, but moving out to the West Coast, we really didn't have much options as far as wrestling programming goes.
Mm-hmm.
Was there one particular type of wrestling that was aired on TV?
We used to get of course, NWA with from the Crockett's NWA, and then we had the Papos ICW, and then we had Saturday Night Wrestling with WOAY when I was a very real young. But what I remember the most was the Crockett's NWA and the Papos ICW. But yeah, we had different. We had lots of different things. So we didn't get much stuff from New York ever. I just saw pictures in magazines, and then every now and then I could get a videotape of some stuff from the Mid-South and Lawler group. But I tried to watch as much as I could, and now that I'm older, I've got I like stuff from the Portland back in the 70s and the 80s with Roddy Piper and Buddy Rose, and I try to be a student even to this day.
No, I enjoyed some Portland. As a matter of fact, the Mighty One himself introduced me to Portland, and there was amazing talent. There was a different feel to it.
Yeah,
exactly. That you just don't get in this day and age, especially in this area. I'm not knocking the area. Don't get me wrong, but Portland had its own special feel to it. And if there's anybody out there listening, I highly recommend, as most veterans will, as Mr. Lynch, and I'm sure Mr. Foreign as well, would suggest Portland. So for any of you wrestling aficionados out there, check out YouTube, hit up the Portland, and take a look at it.
Yeah, highly recommend it.
All right, Mr. Lynch. It seems that we have somebody. We have a caller coming in,
all right.
So we're going to go ahead and bring them on and see what's going on.
All right.
All right. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and answer this. All right, Mr. 228. Who is this? Hello, caller. Caller. And there is no caller. So we're going to go ahead and hang up there. And we're going to move on. Now, was there any one particular wrestler that stood out in your mind that you, obviously your inspiration for professional wrestling was your grandfather, but is there any one individual that you looked at in the ring and said, hey, I want to do what that guy is doing. I want to do what that particular guy is doing because because of him, I want to make my dreams come true. Was there any individual such as that?
It wasn't so much as an individual. It was just all the different individuals. I mean, I remember watching Tim Horner when I was a young man, and Barry Windham. I saw one of his very first matches as Blackjack Mulligan Jr. I was a huge Blackjack Mulligan fan. Of course, I love Boogie. There were just over-the-top personalities, and I loved every one of them. I didn't want to emulate any of them. I wanted to be myself, but they all put different things on my plate.
Okay, there's one thing that's really been eating at me.
All right.
Okay, since we started this interview, where? Well, take it back from the interview. This is something that has been bugging me since day one. Where did you get your voice?
My voice?
No, seriously.
What,
your
my
voice.
Singing voice?
You have, exactly. Where did you get that? Where does your singing background come from? When did you first learn? I mean, it just totally amazed me.
I started where a lot of people do when they're young. I started singing in church, and I sang in the choir in school, and so on and so forth. And then when I was about 15 or so, I got involved with musical theater, and that's when I really learned how to sing and project. Just kind of played at it before, but doing that's what really, really taught me how to open up and let her rip.
Now, you also performed the national anthem at numerous wrestling events, but also was it the Atlanta Braves?
No, it was the Charlotte Hornets. I sang the national anthem.
Wow, wrong.
At the old Charlotte.
I didn't get the sport right.
It's all right. It was the Charlotte Hornets at the Charlotte Coliseum. I believe it was 1993, I think. I sang the national anthem in front of 27,000 people. That was quite enjoyable. I had a good time.
I just find it completely amazing when you are absolutely one of these people that you look at them and you would not expect. You know, a classic case of do not judge a book by its cover.
Right, yeah. I've heard that quite a few times during my career, actually.
I'm going to be honest. The first time that I'm in the back, I'm getting my oversized shoes on, and I hear somebody say, "Hey, Dave, you ready?" I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And then I hear David Lynch is going to sing the national anthem, and I'm like, oh man, what have I gotten myself into? Is this what professional wrestling is? But then you belted out that song that's been around for 100 and some years, almost 200. Yeah, almost 200 years, and professional singers can't even get it right. Can't even do it justice. Men and women that get paid millions of dollars a year can't even. I'm not saying that they're all like that, but a lot of them can't even do what you can do. Have you never ever tried to pursue an actual career?
I've sung in bands. I've kind of started a project now with a few guys. We don't even have a name or anything. We just started getting together. We're going to play some music and see where that goes. But I've auditioned for this and that and done various things. You know, it's just something I can do. It's just one of the things I can do.
No, there's been a lot of stories going around, especially as far as the the elder statesmen of professional wrestling, especially in southern West Virginia. There's been a multitude. People may not realize it, but there's been a multitude of individuals that actually went to company such as WCW. You had Scotty McKeever. He was in or WCW, I'm sorry. And then you had, of course, Mark Canterbury.
Yep.
WVCW Future Hall of Famer, inducted next month, October 9th, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, of course, War Machine, another Southern West Virginia icon. WCW. But then there was also one Mr. David Lynch that graced a WCW ring that actually had a check that was made out
Several.
to David Lynch.
Several. Yeah.
With Ted Turner's signature.
Yeah, they look at you awful funny at the bank in Ronceverte, West Virginia, when you go in with a check signed by Ted Turner. They give you funny looks. That's for sure. But I assured him he was good for it.
Now, in your time in WCW, was it just simply they call you up, they need a guy, you go down, you do your thing, or was it a situation of, hey, there might be a spot, we want you to come down, let us take a look at you? What kind of situation was it?
It was, I went down purely as enhancement talent. I considered myself still wet behind the ears. I mean, I could do my stuff, but, and took good bumps, but, I was just there as enhancement talent. But I did try out for the Crockett's NWA when their no compete clause with Turner was up. I tried out for Tully Blanchard and was hired pretty much on the spot to work for the Crockett's NWA, but then they up and moved to Texas right before I was supposed to start, and I didn't feel like going all the way to Texas because I knew that if they had left the Charlotte area, they wouldn't succeed, and a month and a half later, they folded, so I made the right move there, I guess.
You're a man of the world. You're a man of the world, good sir.
Well, thank you.
Now,
I'll go ahead.
No, go ahead. This is your show, sir. This is your spotlight.
I was just going to say I'd also worked for Jerry Lawler in the USWA, and we went up north to WWE a couple times, and also I've worked for Burt Prentice when he had Ozark Mountain Wrestling, and that was a lot of fun because I got to work with Mick Foley again, who I met at WCW, and he turned out to be a really good guy. He was really helpful to me.
Every time I hear Mick Foley, don't get me wrong, I love Mick Foley. I have all of his books. He's the only reason that I've even read a book in the past 10 years. But any time I think of Mick Foley, I always think of the fact that in his book he says that he owes, or that an individual by the name of Mad Dog.
I'm not the Mad Dog. I'm not the Mad Dog that owes him money. That's not me. That's a different guy.
That's not you. Okay.
No, that is not me. That is not me. He will tell you too that it's not me. He actually calls me Cactus when we see each other. Yeah.
Well, that's a good relationship to have with but it just goes back to show Mr. Foley's character also.
Oh yeah, he's a tremendous guy. There, I mean, I've been fortunate enough in my career to meet several legends, living legends, and Hall of Famers, and the whole 9 yards. And for the most part, they have all just been great people, and it's been a wonderful experience meeting them. there's a couple that, you know, I won't name names or anything. I'll save that for the book. I'll name names in the book, but not on the blog talk.
Oh, that's it. Well, okay, then you'll be added to that list of individuals that have made me read in the past 10 years.
Well, there you go. Cool. I'll give you a reason to read a book. You should read a book at least. You should read more. Read more. Everybody, read more.
Read more. That's a Mad Dog said. Read more.
Read more. Everybody, read more.
Now, is there? How long have you? Sorry about that. I was kindly interrupted. But anyway, kind of lost my train of thought. We got about 5 minutes left on this half hour of The Art of Change. I got a few other things that I want you to note before I end the show, so we're going to go ahead and end this interview here. Mr. Lynch, again, I do appreciate the fact that you came on. I do appreciate the fact that you I don't know if you'll be thanking me after next week, but I do appreciate the fact that you're going to be featured once again next week on The Art of Change for part 2 of this. And,
all right.
Mr. Lynch, I do wish you very well. I wish you nothing but the best. And
thank you.
I wish you a good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night to you as well.
All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to see if we can't pick up our good friend, Mr. J.C. Dykes. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
All right, good enough. So, Mr. Dykes, is there anything you'd like to say right now? This is your soapbox, sir. We have about 2.5 minutes left. Is there anything that you just want to get off your chest?
Not really. I wish I would have been on the interview a little bit, but with work, I'm busy. But I will say that David Lynch is one of the reasons that I became a professional wrestler in this state, and he knows it. And every chance I get to work him is a treat.
There's
that
definitely something special.
That and I just take Hojo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't
that's common knowledge.
Mighty One. Well, I don't hate the Mighty One myself. He just simply he's a mindless beast that's kept on a chain. So I almost feel sorry for the man, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, enough of the dead air. I want to remind you all once again that WVCW airs on the Two Virginias CW network every Wednesday at noon. And be sure to check out our next event, October 9th, I believe, at the Princeton Rec Center. Bell time is going to be 7 o'clock. Make sure you get there a little bit early. Going to throw in a few dark matches there for you. Get some, take a look at some fresh young talent. And 7 o'clock, then we're going to go ahead and bust into the first round of the TV taping for that night. And it's definitely going to be an exciting one, as we're going to induct 3 individuals into our Hall of Fame, the WVCW Hall of Fame. We have, enough of this. Enough of this. I'm not some little corporate puppet that's going to play your games. We're not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to tell you that you all need to be there for one simple reason. You need to be there because I am going to be there. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to bring the network along with me in full force. That is why you all need to be there. I wish you all nothing but the best. I wish you all to be there and I wish you all change. Good night, everybody.